Hello guys, and welcome back to another Tweaker Man video. In this video we're going to be making a DC cable. We're going to be showing you how to do it. And basically the main ingredient for this is this copper cable. This has already been purchased and it's insulated already, you see. And this is Ono continuous casting copper. So basically instead of it being pulled like the way copper's made, this is casted instead. This is one of the finest coppers you can buy. And you can get this straight off eBay and it's not that expensive actually. So that's that. So we're going to be using that for the mains cable, which is a DC mains cable, so it's low voltage. We've got our plugs here. Okay, these are real quality again. These come from Hong Kong. They're gold plated. This is a 2.1 DC plug. And this is being made for our Android box in there with our upgrade power supply. So basically that's that. To do the job we're going to need an array of bits and pieces. We're going to have some braid for the outside of it, a little bit of Heatshrink, the black stuff there, some silver solder, our heat gun, our soldering iron, and basically wire snippers just to strip off the insulation. Although this wire is quite thin, it won't go in that little hole there. It's too well, it goes in there. It's too small for that. Basically we can strip that off. This is a 26 AWG American wire gauge, so it's very small, but what we're doing is we're using 3 of them for each side, for the negative and the positive. So that's that. So we're going to get into showing you how to do this now. Right, okay, because we don't really need a long cable for our one, we're basically making a short one of about 300mm. Maybe it may come out slightly longer than that. So what I've done is I've cut 6 pieces, 660mm long. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be plaiting them together. So we'll be showing you how to do that now. Right, okay, so we're going to take 3 of our conductors here. And these are going to be the negatives. So what we're going to do is, in able to identify them when it gets to the end, we're going to need to mark them. So we're just going to use a black marker pen. Just going to put some black marker pen all over it. Actually, it doesn't go on there very well, the black marker pen. So what we'll do, we won't do that. What we'll do, we'll wrap a little bit of PTFE tape around each one of them, just on each end, just so we know what one's what. There needs to be a bit. Right, so that's going to be one end. Right, it's only just to identify it, it's pretty. Get that going, what's going on with that? Get on that in there. Just twist a little bit around there. Right, okay, so we'll do the same to the other 2. Right, okay, we've done our, put a bit of PTFE tape so we know what we're going to say. This is the negative this side. Right, okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using 2 conductors on each, because we're going to be plaiting this together. Basically, this wire, what I failed to say is this is Teflon insulated. So it's got a very low dielectric constant. So what we're going to do now is we're going to need to use some more PTFE tape just to hold them 2 together. You can pull all this off at the end afterwards. This is only just to hold it in place while we do the plaiting. That's that. And what we'll do, we'll go down the other end and do the same, because we want to keep it nice and tight. this wire being quite thin, it's very fiddly. Right, so that's one. So that's one that's done that. So we'll be back in a minute when we've done the other. Right, okay, now these are our three put together. Now, one of these has got a negative and a positive together in there. Okay, so that's this one here. It's gone a bit fiddly again, so I'll take it off. Right, okay, so this one is our negative. Okay, and it looks a bit complicated, a bit confusing, but this one here is the one which has got the negative and the positive together, because we're having three on each end, and in order to do a three-way plat, we're going to have to do it like that. Right, so here we go. We're going to push these together, these three. Okay, get them joined up about the same distance apart there. And again, I know this is a bit boring, but you have to use more PTFE tape again. Just to wrap around. The reason I'm using the PTFE tape, it's got no adhesive on it. It won't leave any adhesive on the conductor afterwards. So we need to just push them up together and then just wrap around. What we'll be doing is gradually just taking off the PTFE tape afterwards, so we know what conductor's what. Otherwise, we're going to get it mixed up and all that. Right, we've got our three conductors there, held in place by PTFE tape. Now we're just going to rest a block of wood on there, get a clamp underneath there, because we are not going to be able to hold the, unless you can do it with two people, it's fine. But as I'm on my own and my son's filming me, I have to just keep it clamped down like that. And then I'm going to just pull all the conductors away again. Now these are going to get a bit messy and tangled, so you have to just bear with it. Put one over there for a minute, hold that down like that. And then this one, again that one there. Most important, you don't really bend the wire too much. Right, okay, so we've got one over there and one here, so we just want to, I don't know if you've ever plaited anything before, or if not, get your mum to do it. Mums are very good at plaiting hair and that, so, right, okay, so we've got them all nice and separated there, right? So basically what we're going to be doing is just going to show you how to plait it. So we're going to bring one over there like that, then going to bring this one over like that, and that one over like that, and so on, and we'll just keep going until we get it plaited. You can, it doesn't have to be really tight, it can just be a fairly, there you go, look, you can see it coming together nice and neatly now. The tighter the weave you get, obviously the shorter the cable is going to be. So we're just going to do a nice gentle plait, and we'll be back when we get to the end. Right, okay, we're coming to the end of the plait now. You can see it's a continuous plait. We've kept a continuous amount of pressure on the plait, so we know it's going to be fairly even all the way up. So just get that up on there a bit more. Right, okay, so we come down to here. In order to keep that in place now, I'm going to have to use more PTFE tape just to keep the plait in place. Well, I'm not sure how long this has turned out now. I mean, if you're after a really long one, you'll have to just gauge it yourself and make up extra and just drop back and that. So let's give that a measure now. We'll take that off of there, see what that measures. Oh, sorry about earlier on, my glasses fell off. Right, okay, so right, okay, so we know now we've got this side here, these three are going to be the negative because they're all individually wrapped in PTFE. The other three here are the positive. So we're just going to take that PTFE tape off of that there, so we know what that is there. Pull that off of there. There we go. That one there. So there we go. We've got those three. Just try to, yeah, just put that around there. Right. So that's that end. Now, same with the other end again as well. These two here are the negatives, and this one here, these ones are the positives. So we'll just remove that. Pull it up there, let's come off of there. So that one there, and this one, what is it? Oh, it's that one there. So we can actually just take all that tape off of there, what's holding them together. Right, okay. So now, I'll do is just twist those together for a minute. Those ones there, and these ones can be twisted together just to tidy it up while we're going to be doing the other bits on them and that. So just a little bit there. Right, okay. Okay, this has come out to 600 now. So it's come out a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought it might have reduced the cable quite a bit, but the conductors, but it hasn't. They seem to be quite good. Right, okay, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to chop some of this back a bit, because it's too long to get in our DC plug now. So we'll just chop a bit off of that side there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just wrap some PTFE tape around this one and put some black marker pen on it, so I know what's going on. The last thing you want to do is to get confused and it all goes a bit wrong, and then you've got to undo the whole cable and start again. Right, so just put it on there like that. Well, you can use some insulation tape if you want to. Just use some. So if we do that, and then I know that the marker pen will go on there well like that. Okay, so that's our negative, and this one is our positive. Now, before we go any further, we just need to look at our plug here. So we're going to be connecting one to the other. So we're going to put the positive to the centre and the negative to the outside, and we'll just be soldering those on. So right now, so we've got our cable all plaited up, and before we start messing about with the plugs on the end, we need to put some black nylon braid on it. So we're just going to chop this off and just give it a singe the end slightly, just with the soldering iron there, just to give it a bit of just to seal it in a bit, because otherwise it will just start fraying. So that's one end there. But because this is this braid isn't going to go smaller on there, we can just hold it up to there, take it to the end there, and just chop it off there, and then singe the end on that again, because that's just this is an 8mm nylon braid, this one. Well, I'll put all the information in the description below after. But so like normal, we'll just thread all that through. In fact, we're probably going to have to put some more PTFE tape around this. It gets complicated because it will just start getting all snagged up inside the cable and that. Just while we feed it through, and then we'll just take it straight off after. This PTFE tape comes in real handy when you're doing this stuff. Right, so we're just going to push that through there like that. We need to open that up a bit. There we go, just open it up like that, just so we can get that through there. There we go. This is just the right size for this cable now. That may be a bit. I've had several people ask me about Ono continuous cast copper, and it is the best basically because the structure is the crystal structure is all connected opposed to being broken. The linear structure of the cable, which is quite complicated, so it's to explain it all, science behind it all. Right, there we go, it's gone up there, pull it back a little bit. Right, take it a bit longer there. Right, what we're going to be doing is just, now we've got this in place now, we're going to be putting some heat shrink over them, over the ends. This heat shrink is just about the right size for that. So we'll chop a couple of bits off. Doesn't need to be very long. You can just feel your way with it and do what you want really. Just try to get them about the same size and that. I'm sure that'll go over that. There we go, just push that over like that. Just want to get it up to about there. Same with the other end. That has gone very, very slightly short on there. What we're going to do, we're going to heat shrink this end up first. Plug in our hot gun. There we go. I'm going to heat that up now. Remember, and always keep it away from the nylon braid when you're heating this up, because it'll melt the braid. Just tickle it around the edge. There you go, it's perfect that end. So that's going to keep that nice in place. And what I can do now is I can fit this end on. I'm going to just take that off there for a minute because that's a bit messy, because I don't want it to be too messy under there. Okay, what we'll do now, put a bit more PTFE tape on this end first, just to neaten it up a bit. I'm a stickler for having everything nice and neat. I don't like messy work and that. It looks like it's a bit messy on the bench, but it's organised chaos, trust me. Bring it over the edge of that a bit, and just work your way back slightly. Right, there we go. Now we're just going to slide on our heat shrink over the top of that. Fit all these wires in there. There we go. Perfect. Set that down to there. Do the same. So basically a DC cable really needs a conductor size of 18 AWG, American wire gauge. But what we're doing is because we're plaiting it together, because we're trying to shield the cable. It basically has shielded the cable by plaiting it together. We're using 3 26 wire gauges, so the actual size of it is actually bigger than 18 altogether. So basically that's that. Right, okay, now we've got our conductors here all sorted. So we can start messing about with them now and get them all ready for the to be soldered onto our plugs. Now we're going to trim these back because they're too long at the moment and that. So we've got this side here, which we're going to, well, you can use either one of those for the centre, as long as you use both at both ends, you see. So we're going to, the centre one needs to be slightly longer in there. So we're going to sort of, you just feel your way with this, you just work with it and see how you get on with that. I'm going to chop that back a bit there, so I'd say to about there. And now we've got to strip each wire there. So we're going to take our wire cutters, and on this piece here we've got a cutter bit on the end there. So we're just going to take it up to there, and then we're going to just strip that off slightly to hold it in place. Pull it off. There we go. Look, that's pulled off nice and neat there. Pull that one back there. Same with that. Get these wires out of the way in case you chop one off by accident. Nearly there. There we go, another one there. And last one there. Right, okay, so they're there. Try not to, because these are stranded, this cable. Try not to break any of the strands away. You want to really maximise every strand on there, really. So we're going to just solder the end of that one up now. That's enough, just a little bit more. There we go, that's nice and neat now. So, basically we're going to use that one for our centre conductor. So that will go into there and we'll solder that in place. And then we're going to do the same with this one. We're going to cut that back. But this one, it doesn't really need to go as long as that one because we're going to just be nipping it through that little hole there. So we've basically, I'm going to pull some of this PTFE tape off first, just to cut the cable down a bit. That's better to there, and that one's about right. So right, pull that back there. Right, so we're going to chop those down. Basically, you've got to work out how far you need to go with it. So turn it around. Get that one in the centre. So those ones are going to be... Right, okay. So they're probably about all right at the moment. And because we need to start stripping back the wire on each one of them. The insulation, sorry. The Teflon insulation. So I'll take it right back to about there. There we go, that's one off. Just be careful when, I mean, you might find a set of wire cutters that cut a wire very thin like this, but I don't have a pair, which I need to get hold of. A pair. There we go, that one's off. Right, next one. Not quite in. There we go. Right, okay. So what we need to do now is to twist those ones together. And these ones have got to slide through that hole. Now, they've got to go, you see there's a tiny little hole there, you can see it from that side. Not sure whether it's in focus or not. Okay, so basically this wire has to go through there like so, and out the other side, and then that one will be soldered into there. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is just going to chuck a bit of solder onto the end of that one, just to keep it in place and neaten it up a bit. Right, okay, bit of solder on there. Right, okay, that's fine. So now we're going to do the same to the other end, and we'll be back when the other end's done. Right, so we've got our other end all nicely, can you see that there? It's all nicely soldered off. Right, so basically we're going to be using our positive in the centre there. So if we place that, put that in there, and we're just going to solder that off. I've just clamped that in place with a piece of wood and a clamp while I solder that, because it's a bit fiddly. I don't know whether you can see that there. Come around there. Right, okay, that's about there. Right, so now we're just going to solder that centre one off. More solder on there. Right, okay, nice and neat. Now, there's a fatal mistake I've made here, and I haven't put the end of the plug on. There you go, that's the end of the plug. Now I can thread it on the other way, which is quite handy. So make sure you always put the end of the plug on, otherwise you'd have to unsolder it again. So just going to take that off a minute, undo that for a second, just while we mess about fiddling around with this side. So we've got to lift that up, and we've got now to get our other conductor into that hole there, that small hole, and up. There we go. I'm going to push that down like so. There we go. Right, I should hopefully just be able to hold that in place now and solder that one off. So we're going to load our soldering iron up with some solder there. Okay, push that down like that. There we go. That's it. That's nice and neat. So that end's done now. So now we're going to just fiddle our end of our plug on, and we'll be back in a second. Right, okay, this is the end of our plug. The wire's become slightly too thick for the hole. So all we're doing is we're getting a slightly bigger drill bit. And we're just going to drill it. It's plastic, so there we go. We just drilled out the end of that so we can thread it on easier, because it didn't want to go on. I just want to push that through there like so. That's it, get down the other end. Thread it on there. That's perfect, look at that. Look at that bit of soldering there, quality. There's no mess there at all. I've seen some people soldering that's absolutely dreadful, but I pride myself on really nice soldering. So basically, we're just going to... Right, okay, that's our plug. We've already put our other plug on, so that's all nice and neatly finished. And then this end has just got to go on there. I'm just going to thread all that on there. Take it up to about there, that's fine. And now all we're going to do now is put the other end on the same. So we'll be back once we've done that, and you've seen the first one how to do that. So it's pretty straightforward. Right, okay, this is the other end soldered on there nice and neatly. What I failed to say is a little crimp at the end there. Just want to crimp that up just to keep the cable nice and tight there. Crimp that over there. Doesn't have to go much, just a little bit. Oops. Crimped it out again there. There you go, just enough just to give it some strength to it. Right, okay. Screw that one on. Now we're going to just be putting another piece of heat shrink over these plugs after, just to show you there we go. Just to cover up, that one's gone slightly short there, you see. So we're going to be putting another piece of heat shrink over these two plugs. So we'll show you how to do that in a second. So we slotted some 15mm heat shrink over, and we're just going to heat that up now and shrink that on. 1, 2, right, we're heating this up now. Put that in the right place, just do your heat shrink around it. Keeps all the plug nicely sealed. Tickle it around the end again, don't go too close because you'll burn your braid. done it so many times, it's really annoying after you finish a really nice cable and the braid's gotten slightly burnt and that. Right, okay. So that's that side, and we'll just flip this side on now. Right, there we go. This is our DC mains cable made up. So we're going to go and fit it on onto our power supply to our Android box. So come along and I'm going to show you what we're doing. Right, okay, here's our Android box here, the X99, and this is our power supply to it, our upgrade one. So we're just going to pop out the old, well, it's just the one that came with it. It's just really, these ones are just throwaway DC power cable. This is exactly the same plug there. So apart from this is obviously 24 karat gold plated. So I'm going to throw that one away and we'll just pop that straight in here. Get that one in there. Now, hopefully nothing's going to blow up. There we go. It's coming on the front. Turn on the TV. So basically what I recommend you do when you do these things is you really could do with, you could change one cable at a time. What I haven't done yet is change the mains cable on this. I'm going to be making one, show you how to do one for this. And there's a fuse in there that I'm going to change. I won't show you how I'm going to change that. You've seen all the fuses that I've been changing lately and I don't want to bore you with too many fuses. So I'll just do that on my own. So there you go. That's our Ono copper, continuous copper. I can't remember what we call it now. Ono continuous cast copper. Quite a mouthful. So that's it. So we've got on there. Primarily this. I think I've got the picture quality on this just about as good as it's going to get actually. Even without changing the power cord. It may improve very slightly, it'd just be probably the sharpness of the picture might get slightly better. And this is basically more for the internet radio, so I'm trying to improve the quality of the internet radio, although it's only coming for 320 kilobits per second from Lin Jazz. I primarily listen to Lin Jazz because I like Lin Jazz. So I'll have to do some listening tests, and again, it's just going to have to run in again. Everything I keep changing has to run in, so I've got my system constantly on all day, and I'll turn it down at night time, and it goes on. It goes all through the night and all through the day. Probably run that in for a couple of weeks and see how we get on anyway. So for now, thank you for watching another Tweakerman video. I hope this video was useful to you, and I shall post all the details below to where you buy all the products and that. So. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much.